let me turn our attention to Chief Segun Showunmi here with me in the studio. Your party has come out today and said this is an assault on Nigerians. Is that how your party sees it? Or
that's
how the situation is?
That's how all Nigerians see it. Sheung, in 2014, they managed to win an election that they then became in charge of the country by 2015. The price per liter was 97 naira. And as at 2012, they resisted vehemently that the Nigerians could not afford an increase. And as a feeling right-thinking government, we backed down because you are not serving yourself, you are serving the citizens. Between 2015 to date, they have brought the price to, some would say 800 and something, some would say 900, some would say over 1,000. They make the most annoying excuse as though they sought our permission as Nigerians before they devalued our currency, making us now have a painful exchange rate of $1 to 1,600 naira.
At the parallel market.
At the parallel market. It's almost the same because they've liberalized it down, but there's no room for arbitrage. So they say, our currency has become the weakest in the sub-region, weaker than the CFA. And now they come to town and tell us that, okay, in 2023, before sitting down to understand what's in the books, subsidy is gone. If you recall, Sheung, at that time I said they would have been more clever to have said we're increasing the price because they are making a promise they won't be able to keep since you are going to be dealing with a product that is dominated by Forex. And then they also kind of like liberalize it and all of that. Look, my friend is not right when he says the landing cost per refinery is 50 cents, is 700 or 800, and that's not correct.
In a global standard.
In a global standard, it's not correct. In the global standard, the cost of a barrel of crude now is about $73. From 1 barrel of crude, you will get about 159 liters of petrol. If you do the maths, and then you then ask yourself, do the refineries in America, are they paying salaries in Naira that you will now say the cost of, you know, what do you call it? The cost of labor is the same. You will tell me that your cost of taxes are the same, your excise duty is the same, the money you use to transport is the same, Look, we can be deceiving ourselves that a nation, just like when the French Revolution was coming, that people can come and speak government out of the mess government has created without taking into cognizance the mood of the country, the pressure of the people, their ability to survive, and without taking also into serious cognizance the central role of these things on the life of the smallest person in the farm, on the villages, and the cost of transportation. The federal government is joking, and they had better do everybody in this country a favor, revert the numbers. Why? Because the federal government, the president cannot say, I am the Minister of Petroleum, and then he will sit on top that responsibility over and above the big responsibility of being president and be explaining to us in a manner that they should have ordinarily been impeached. Because you can't tell us that, see, the NNPC is saying they've been carrying a burden of $6 billion. Who authorized them to carry that? Who made the appropriation? Who gave them authority? Who appropriated it? Where did they get the right to do that?
But they were the
federal money. That is besides the point. Federation's monies are not spent like that. They're saying now that they have to make appropriation, or they're going to give $3 billion to the federal account. That's the last thing they say. Look, Sheung, a nation is not run as if it's your private enterprise. There is separation in the government, and there is a National Assembly that is supposed to legislate and give you appropriation powers to do certain things.
But Mr. Showunmi, the NNPCL,
let me land.
Is the federal government saying that, look, we are not privy? The market forces are taking control. If the NNPCL says they've spent this money, but what we are hearing is, in fact, the availability problem was caused because NNPCL is owing to the tune of billions of dollars to those who have lifted, and that's why
you need to let me land.
And I'm saying
the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Tinubu, with due respect, could not have said this nation is not paying subsidy, and then one entity under this federation that does not have powers to run as if it's on the moon, in Mars, or in Jupiter, will now come and tell us that, oh, we have been buying the fuel, and they are scared of using the word subsidizing it. Who appropriated that?
So invariably, they've been subsidizing.
They've not used the adjective subsidizing. They will have to come and tell us who gave them permission to appropriate our monies in that manner. One, how can you run the most important thing that carries our economy in such an opaque and a voodoo manner? And when we speak to these issues, with due respect, when we speak to these issues, we speak to these issues because the fact that they are in government does not mean they love the country more than those of us that are not in government. And they got a very small, very, very small number to come and run this country. Therefore, they don't even have the majority right to be running all of us into trouble. The cost of living of our people is very, very, very high. They can barely cope. Our unemployment figures are very, very high. They can barely eke a living. You have just said you are going to pay civil servant 70,000 naira. We have not seen how that is going to be, matched by private sector. Those who are not even on the payroll still have to survive. At the same time, you have increased the cost of energy. People still have to survive. At the same time, they even have the temerity to say they are going to increase VAT by 10%. Let us just be clear. The last outing when people were going on, they were going to say they're going to shut down the country and all that. We pulled them back with all our strength and didn't join it because we felt that, okay, let's just manage that period. You cannot insult our sensibility with less than a month after such an event, and you are telling us now you are moving it to what? Who gave them the right to do that?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you were the CEO of a private company,
which company is that?
No, I'm just giving an example. If you are a CEO of a private company, and the kind of statement that came from the NNPCL over the weekend, which a lot of people felt offended by, and in any case, coming out and unveiling to Nigerians what they have been doing that has become less transparent. What would you be doing to such the head or the leadership of such an entity?
There is, you see, I have wondered, except to maybe if they have some crooked underarm dealings that government is just allowing them to get away with. There is no reason why Mile should be sitting down on that chair.
I'm imagining
he has been in charge
the
of
National Assembly.
He has been in
just a moment. I'm asking you a question in the direction of where you are going.
Yeah.
That if Mr. Mele Kyari, who says he is in charge of a private entity that government has a stake in, is answerable to the private interest in a capitalist economy, what about the interest of the Nigerian people as represented by the National Assembly if this kind of thing is going on? Over the weekend and now, shouldn't any reasonable National Assembly representing the voices of the Nigerian people be calling Mr. Mele Kyari and everybody that is involved to question them and answer to Nigerians the question about these prices, isn't
it? A serious National Assembly will not just be calling Mele Kyari, it's too small. A serious National Assembly will be calling the president, who doubles as the Minister of Petroleum, to come and answer charges. Appropriation is a very serious issue. One of the easiest ways to get yourself into impeachment is for you to abuse your responsibility and authority. Somebody has some serious explaining to do. I ask you, is the NNPC, whether it is privatized or not, running our national asset of crude and all of that on its own whims and caprice? And is it spending the resources that it makes by the sales of our national asset on its whims and crasses? Who gave them the authority to be balancing up the books and the numbers? How come they could have told us that there's no subsidy, and they're coming out to tell us not only have there been subsidy? They're telling us we are even owing to the tune of almost $6 billion, and then to slap us in the face in a most annoying and unfeeling manner, they're telling us they're going to change the price just like that.
Hold on, Mr. Showunmi. We're going to go on a break just in a moment, but I like to also balance this conversation because the presidency has been reacting about these subsidies that you're talking about. And this is what Mr. Bayo Onanuga said. He said, and I quote, "The Tinubu government did not lie about fuel subsidies. I have read a series of articles attacking the federal government for not telling the truth about fuel subsidy payments, following NNPC Limited's admittance that it was owing suppliers some $6 billion US. The truth is that there is no discovery, no lie uncovered. The government has been faithful to its policy that it was no longer going to pay fuel subsidies since President Tinubu announced the deregulation of the PMS sector on the 29th May 2023. Since then, subsidy provisions have disappeared from the budget. It was not in the supplementary budget of 2023, not in the 2024 budget, and the amended 2024 budget. How do you react to that?
They're acting in a more annoying manner. It means that not only are they spending without appropriation, they are even spending money that nobody knows where they are getting it from. So when people say our oils are stolen, our oils are not made, we're not auditing it well, we don't know how much we've made, why would you be disappointed when the people that are in charge of the government have the temerity to be telling us that NNPC has been spending that much money on whose authority and by whose approval?
The presidency has said we do not know anything about it.
Really?
They say ask NNPCL.
That is an impeachable offense. The man doubles as the Minister of Petroleum.
But they said that it has been deregulated.
That your grandfather was a thief. Does that mean if your father steals a goat, they will not accuse him of being a thief? That was what happened then. This we're talking about now. I just told you the figures and how much we were selling it then. 97 naira. And how much are they telling us come and buy it today? Can the Nigerians even afford it? It's one thing for you to be running a for-profit country in the midst of people that get enough wages that they can get by. You want to run a for maximum profit country so that you can circulate money, share it with the states and local government without the commensurate ability to supervise and know what they are doing with the money, and the Nigerian citizens will be the one bleeding. They have something coming.
All right.
And they will be shocked at what will come at them.
Let's take a breather, everyone. But when we come back, more analysis for us to do. And of course, NLC is on the other hand. They're saying they're already meeting and cooking up plans on how to properly respond to the federal government in the pricing of petroleum products. But of course, there's a lot of explanation has to be made in this regard. If you are not feeling it, I am feeling it.
I am feeling it.
We'll go on a break, everyone. When we come back, we'll talk more about this. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Comrade Peter Esala is a former president of the Trade Union Congress. He's been speaking with us. He's got some very good long years of experience within the oil and gas and the energy sector. Thank you so much, Comrade Esala, for your time tonight. And I also have with me here in our studio, Chief Segun Showunmi, a member of the People's Democratic Party. His party has been coming out saying that this is some of the part of what the PDP has said today. And I quote some of these sections of the statement. Saying today, under the Tinubu-led administration, over 150 million Nigerians have sunk below poverty line. Businesses are collapsing daily as the naira now exchange for over 1,600 naira to a dollar, with over 34% inflation rate and over 40% of unemployment rate, which are expected to rise further with the latest draconian increase in the price of fuel. There is practically no hope in sight under the current APC government policies as major multinational companies continue to exit our country in droves in the face of ill-conceived and ill-implemented macroeconomic policies. They went further to say the admission by the APC-led federal government that it has handed the fate of Nigerians to oil racketeers in the name of free market economy further validates the position of the PDP that the Tinubu-led administration has abdicated the primary purpose of government, which is to provide for the welfare and security of the citizens. President Tinubu is the Minister of Petroleum Resources and cannot exonerate his government and officials from the secretive and fraudulent management of the petroleum sector, which is fast pushing our nation's economy to the precipice. Moreover, it is inexplicable that the APC administration continues to increase fuel price despite the scandalous revelation in the public domain that it is secretly paying a whooping 5.4 trillion as fuel subsidy for 2024. Mr. Showunmi, is it fair to actually describe the situation in the manner in which your party has described it, considering the fact that if we say we leave this to market forces...
In 2014, the exchange rate was how much? It was $1, worst case 199, almost 200 naira. In the space of how many years are we drinking dollar as a source of survival? What are we buying extra? That it is now in our country that the dollar is 1 to 160. Who presided over that economy? Even at the height of the Buhari regime, what was our exchange rate? Now, okay, the Dangote refinery, which I've really commended him for even rescuing us as a people so that they can even see that black men can do things on their own. I've thanked him for that. The question you will ask is, who even gave the license? Was it not the PDP government of Jonathan? You see, without being political, you have to be a humanist. You have to look at the faces of your citizens, your cousins in the villages and in the far-flung corners of the country, and just imagine how they are coping even as of today. And you know for a fact that the price of these things will impact transportation. Transportation will impact cost of food. And you are dealing with... No, these guys are... No, with due respect, the language we chose was well weighed and conciliatory. It ought to have been hotter than that.
You mean what Debo Ologunagba wrote?
Oh, he wrote on our behalf, and we adopt everything he has said. It was very mild. If it was them, when Lai Mohammed used to sit on this chair, they used to remove smoke from their nose, ears, and head on simple things. And now they're in charge of the country. They've made everybody's life miserable. And we thought they had come to an end of it. They couldn't even give us the benefit of enjoying the fact that now we have local production in Dangote and our expectation will be something better. They had to come and kill everybody's joy on the same day. No, they have something coming. You know, NASA has told them there's going to be a call out. I'm sure it won't take long before Labour joins them. And by the grace of God Almighty, we will all empty into the street and ensure that go they will. If they will not listen appropriately, if they think that anybody is going to allow them...
Do you think that this government is not listening?
No, I think this government is sheer irresponsible and incompetent. Nobody has time for pussyfooting and powdering their face anymore. What do you think they are doing? Do you know what's going on in the country? Do you know how many lives have been lost as a result of their useless policies that doesn't make sense? What kind of person who calls himself an accountant would not know that a nation that is so export dependent, you got to manage your exchange rate, how by crook or by means, or whatever means. What kind of person comes onto a chair? He has not even looked at the books. He doesn't even know what is there. He doesn't say, it's gone, it's gone.
But the president had told Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, he is a reformer that is trying to take a painful route in reforming the economy and the nation.
Thank you. For a man who's using our money to be buying new jets, for a man who's buying Escalades bulletproof, for a man who's spending money like he's going out of fashion, is that how Deng Xiaoping managed China before he got to Xi Jinping? Is that how China? He's not reforming anything. He's just wasting everybody's time and creating chaos. And he's trying to get national anger to get to a point. It will be a boiling point. Let me tell you, my dear friend, everywhere you have seen a tipping point where people have just said enough, it has always been one senseless government policy after the other, with their lackeys coming to say, oh, it's okay. You are forgetting that we're talking about human lives here. We're talking about people's hunger. We're talking about the cost of living of the Nigerian people. What is their excuse? You are telling us now that, oh, NNPC that can say they're bringing a profit of, is it 3.7 trillion as their profit, at the same time, this is madness. This is sheer arrant madness. And we have been screaming about this NNPC since forever. I recall very vividly in 2019 when we were running the Atiku campaign and I was a spokesman. We kept saying it's time to unbundle this thing, it's time to make it private sector. Even at the pain of a lot of irritation, we said, you can't run such an organization in an opaque manner. How is Petrobras run? How is the ones that they...
There are those who will listen to you and say, Segun Showunmi is just talking because he's a member of the PDP.
No!
Would your party have done it better?
Oh, God. Don't be asking me this question because...
I would ask you because you're a politician.
Let me explain something.
And the fact remains that if you are criticizing the government today, the question is that do you have a solution?
Let me explain something to you. Even General Buhari, with all of the mouths that they make, was smart enough to know that you need to control the currency circulation to manage inflation by changing currency. What did they do? They are just a prolific set of people. They started running two currencies at the same time, pari passu. To what end and to what purpose? He managed the exchange rates and he was really tightening his belt and doing whatever. They came and said they are the expert. And now because they are expert, they will be living in plenty, and they will expect the citizens to empathize with them. If you want to run a transformational government, you start transforming it from your bloody side, from where you are seated. You can't be showing us that we have all the money in the world, you are playing anyhow, you are running a government of yourself and your children and your family, and you expect the Nigerian people to accept that?
But is that the true state of things?
Showunmi, when was the last time you ever saw that they were swearing in an attorney general and the child of the president is there in the place? Ask who? In what capacity?
Does that affect the economy?
Showunmi, you see, it's always one misdemeanor, one misbehavior, one inappropriate conduct that ends up becoming the culture of a government. Look at their government. The man told us that, oh, I have a person there who used to be in NPA that will be evaluating them and bring key performance indicator and talk a lot of nonsense on television. After how many months, what have they been able to do? Who have they evaluated? If they had evaluated their minister, would they not have known that there's crisis there? What is the reason why the president has not fired himself as Minister of Petroleum? What is his explanation for why all this nonsense is going on in NNPC? Everything is just... Are we the only country that is making oil? Are we the only one selling it? People are not so much averse to, increase the prices like that, but not in this manner.
I will let you go, Segun.
Thank you very much.
You said you're leaving. So
yeah, I am leaving.
That's why
I really don't need to run. But let me just put this. Look, we are all the owners of this country together. Those of us that scream and shout is because we love the country and we don't want anything untowards to happen either to the country or to the democracy. But you can't be poking your fingers in people's faces. Right. Or it will end up hitting the shit will hit the roof, so they say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Showunmi, for having me.